Hello, thanks for joining me today on my latest Vblog video. Not a lot has really happened this week, but, well, nothing majorly significant. Anyway, it's been pretty calm after E3 a couple of weeks back. But nonetheless, I like to share my views and opinions on gaming matters, what are important to me, what's happened this week, and hopefully of interest to you too. I'd first like to start off with the Warner Brothers Montreal, who of course were responsible for the Batman Arkham Origins, which, while it wasn't the best Batman game, I did enjoy it when I finally got to complete it, because I did encounter the same game-breaking glitch which stopped me from progressing, and I had to reinstall the game, delete data, blah blah blah, kept an appling, but on third attempt I managed to get through it. So even though the ending was a bit meh, so this week it was brought to our attention that Warner Bros. Montreal are advertising for some job vacancies, numerous positions going at their studio. And obviously your first assumption would be it's a Batman Arkham Origins sequel, but it might not be, which might not necessarily be a bad thing, especially after, well, obviously Rocksteady Studios are now finished with the Arkham Knight, have been their last game, so it'd be interesting what the future holds for any forthcoming Batman games. But as you all know, the DC universe is vast, it's big, there's loads of characters, loads of history to explore, so there's loads of possibilities where they could make a new game, a new IP, which, funnily enough, is what they say in some of their job descriptions. Right, let me find some quotes. The job listing states, a new IP project for the next generation of gaming platforms. And it goes on to say that the studio are a passionate development team developing DC Comics focused AAA games that evolve and celebrate the legendary brands of Warner Brothers. Now I think the key words take from there is a new IP project, and they also mention developing DC comic based AAA games, which that could literally be any game whatsoever. I don't think they go on to say, well, obviously it's more than job description, but they were the key words. But if we don't get an Arkham Origins sequel, which again by no means it's not a bad thing, I mean, what could we get? Could we get a Superman game? I mean, that may be very difficult to do, since obviously Superman is very overpowered. And I think if you're too overpowered in a game, it may take away some of the fun, unless he got stripped of his powers and it's him getting his powers back to become Superman, or perhaps even the origin story of Superman. But again, I don't know. You don't want to play him being a boy grown up to be a man, because he's always got the powers. He just can't use them in public eye. So Superman, I'm unsure about that one. I'd love to see a good Superman game, but I think that would be very difficult. Or perhaps we might get a Green Arrow game. That might be a good one, because that's a very more of a darker themed DC game. DC universe, should I say, the comic books. Well, he's not very dark, like, but it's only the TV series that's dark. But you get my drift. Anyway, they could maybe go the darker route and make it a bit more of a mature game. But yeah, I think that's a possibility, but who knows. Or maybe even the Flash, which will be much more comic book style, more flash, more colourful, more vibrant, more tongue-in-cheek, not in a humorous sense, but more welcoming for maybe less mature gamers. So, but not making it too kiddie orientated. Not talking Flash or Lego Batman games, because that would be absolutely ridiculous, and I'm starting to ramble on a bit more there, so I stop. So a Flash game is a possibility. I think maybe that could work. Meh. But for me, what I would love to see, especially since I like the more darker approach, more mature themes, a Suicide Squad game where you actually get to play as a Joker, or Killer Croc, or Harley Quinn, or Deadshot, whatever. Maybe not all those characters, it might overkill it, but if we can maybe be the Joker in his own story with the Suicide Squad, I think that could be a theme they could explore. Who knows? I mean, hopefully. I mean, the job listing only went up soon, so You never know, in the coming months we might have more reveals. We've got Gamescom, but maybe a bit too early. But perhaps at E3 next year we might see more. But let us know what DC games you'd like to see Warner Brothers Montreal do in the comment section below, or maybe you just don't want them to touch a DC game after Arkham Origins. This week as well, Nolan North has been saying many things. At the beginning of the week, or was it last week, he mentioned Amy Hennig, who used to work at Naughty Dog, who's working on the next Star Wars EA game, which will be a new IP, and he compared it to LucasArts' cancelled project, which did look good. I think we saw it last year, the year before, Star Wars 1313, and he compared the storytelling to this new Star Wars game Amy Hennig is involved with to that of Uncharted. And that he mentioned that at a gaming convention. I can't remember where it is called. Bear with me. No, it's completely gone. It'll probably pop into my head in a bit. Anyway, but anywho, he also said during this panel, when a fan asked him whether or not he knew Naughty Dog were working on a sequel, and of course Nolan North played the villainous David in The Last of Us. He was a sinister yet good character, but very evil. Definitely dark. So when a fan asked him, he said, "Not yet. I know they're doing The Last of Us 2." So he says he knows they're doing The Last of Us 2. So, I mean, other than Troy Baker himself, Nolan North would be a good reliable source, unless Neil Druckmann or Strandley came out and said something. So Nolan North certainly believes it's going to happen. But then last week, Troy Baker also got asked at the Indie PopCon, and he says he knows nothing. "I don't know if we're going to do another or not. If we do, then I'll trust Neil and Bruce and everyone at Naughty Dog to tell a story that needs to be told." And he went on to say, saying he'd like to revisit what happened directly after the prologue scene of The Last of Us. I won't go into spoiler territory, but from the prologue to where we meet Joel in The Last of Us, it skips a whole 20 years. So obviously he says he would love to see what happens between those 20 years, which we don't know too much about. He said, the spoiler where you go from the prologue and then the credits and it cuts to 20 years later, you see a completely different guy. Which, I mean, I love The Last of Us. It's one of the best games I've ever played. I know a lot of people would not like to see the sequel. They like to leave it at that ending where it was, which I completely understand. I'm sort of in the middle. If they do a direct sequel, I'd only want it to be a sequel that's worthy, not for the sake of it, rather than just expanding the story, carrying on from the end of The Last of Us, and it has to be just as good as me, and that's a tall ask. But what Troy Baker says about having a game telling a story of those 20 years of Joel we didn't see, and I think that could be an area which is worth exploring, which I think it may satisfy those who want to see a new Last of Us game, but also the ones who want to keep it at that ending. And obviously those 20 years, as we could explore, is a friendship with Tess, which we all know what happened to her, and his brother Tommy. So I think there's definitely interesting ground to go there, and I think if that's more I think about it, that's what I'd like to see. So, MetroCon, that's where Nolan North has been talking about Star Wars and Last of Us and MetroCon. There you go. So hopefully The Last of Us 2 or a prequel is in development. Hopefully. Again, I think if we do hear some, it's probably going to be E3 next year. Another game, which obviously we all know about, PT being cancelled, aka Silent Hills, where there's a game I've been watching very closely on Facebook, an English independent studio, going by the name of Studio Lilith, which just consists of 6 members, and their game is Allison Road. And over the last few months they've been showing little snippets of videos, not revealing too much, images of this sinister looking, something you see from a Ring but more bloody. Her name's Lily. Close up images of her and of this house, which if you're from the UK or England, UK, Scotland, Wales, UK, me, of course, what am I doing? It's been rambling, I'm rambling on even more now. you would recognise the suburb style house, and I think they've created a new Unreal Engine, I believe, and it looks stunning. It looks really good. It looks almost photorealistic, dare I say it. So they've done a good job at creating this house. Obviously, when the game does release, it's going to have to look more. It's going to have to be more than just that house. It's going to, even though they said most of the campaign will feature in there, but I reckon maybe we might get some more dimensions or alternative realities, who knows. But anyway, he showed us 13-minute prototype gameplay footage of Allison Road. You got this man, he wakes up in his house, 3 o'clock in the morning, PS4 still switched on, he's got pizza boxes all over the floor. He's not too sure what's going on, he seems to have memory loss. And for the first 10 minutes, it's just a case of wandering around the house, going to the back garden, looking at some of the rooms, not a lot happening. And then it gets to the 10-minute mark, and then that's when it really starts to go PT. And it's a blatant influence. That's what it's inspired from, which to me, that is not a problem, because everything is inspired from something one way or another. And it's a jump scare. It definitely sort of captures it puts you on edge, because you know something's going to happen, and when it gets towards the later, round about just the 10-minute mark, you can definitely feel the tension. And it made me jump, because I published an article of it, and when I wanted to get a screen grab of the video, it made me jump again, even though I knew what was coming. So I'll put a link in the video in the description box below. I mean, Allison Road, if you want a good horror, a good supplement for PT or Silent Hills, this could very well be a game, and I think it might even be a good game in its own right. So hopefully it'll be much more than just a PT clone. Got my fingers crossed, and so far that's looking good, so definitely recommend checking that out. I'm a big WWE fan, so this year I'm highly anticipating WWE 2K16. We didn't see any gameplay footage or anything at E3 this year, which I know many of us hoped. I certainly did. But anyway, on the developers' Twitter and Instagram page, they revealed that it's going to be the largest roster ever, and it's going to have 120 unique character models in comparison to 2K15, where they had 67. For me, I mean, if they can deliver and get all the likenesses spot on, I am all for that. But I'm more quality over quantity, and I know even with the 67 unique characters in 2K15, I mean, Vincent Mann looked like he'd been attacked with Botox. Ryback's head was tiny. Triple H, even towards when it was doing the CM Punk John Cena showcase mode, Triple H had long, dark brown hair, which just looked like loads of oddities like that, which some of the wrestlers have. Hogan looked great. The Triple H with shaved hair looks great. Cena had no eyebrows. A lot of them did look great, but they either look really great or look really odd. So what I'd want them to really get on the likenesses. That's why I like quality over quantity. But if they can nail that, then I'm all for it. And he also said about the unique character models, which I'm happy about this. Where are we? Yeah, I quoted as saying, "We're not counting the repeats in the unique models, like 5 John Cena models or 8 Mark Henry models. So I expect maybe 2 or 3 John Cenas or whatever. So, I mean, as long as we don't have 8 Mark Henrys, that's great. So hopefully that will mean I expect 1 or 2 duplicates, but if we get 100 plus characters created at a great level, I think that could be superb. We already know that Paige, Daniel Bryan, Finn Balor, Dean Ambrose, Wade Barrett, and Seth Rollins is going to be in it. So hopefully they'll be revealing some gameplay soon. Usually they have done by now, so I expect something very soon. That is going to be released on October 27th, so I can't wait to see what character models they come up with in that one. Hey, good day, look. Quickly wrap up. Uncharted 4, we saw the 7+ minute gameplay video at E3 just this week. Naughty Dog and Sony released the 15-minute extended gameplay footage, which I believe it is initially shown behind closed doors. And if you remember from the last video, of Uncharted. It stops where Nathan Drake's swinging on an edge of a bridge. He crashes through some barriers and it stops. This carries on from that one, and we get to see Nolan North, who's obviously Nathan Drake, teaming up with his brother Sam, voiced by Troy Baker. So that's like a dream partnership in the video game industry. Naughty Dog have also said, even though they hoped that the single player campaign will be 60 frames per second, it's going to be 30. Faster frame rate doesn't always make it look better, but in most cases it does. But I trust Naughty Dog with this. If they believe it looks better and it's better for the game to be 30 frames per second, and so be it. I mean, if you look at the gameplay video and the link below, you'll see it looks stunning and it looks superb. So I've complete trust in Naughty Dog. But we also said as well that they're still aiming to have 60 frames per second for the multiplayer mode. So check out the link below and look at that extended footage of Uncharted 4 if you haven't seen it already. And quickly, I'll publish my review of Lego Jurassic Park, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. The link will be below for that one too. I'm going to watch the movie tonight as well, so really can't wait for that. Being married and have a child, you don't get much time to go out and do stuff, so this is going to be a good day. Go to a cinema, my ideal day out. Link for that will be below. Right, that wraps up my video. Obviously, we've talked about Batman Arkham Origins and what maybe Warner Bros. Montreal might be doing. The Last of Us 2, Nolan North, perhaps giving some inside information. Allison Road looks superb PT-like horror. WWE 2K16, 120 unique character models, Uncharted and whatnot. If there's anything you agree with or disagree with what I've said, let me know in the comment section below. Or, you know, this time have a look at that gameplay footage of Uncharted. Are you bothered about the 30 frames per second? I'm not too fussed. Like I said, I trust Naughty Dog, but let's have a chat about it in the comment section below. Thanks for watching my video. I really appreciate it, and peace out.